Hi everyone. So this is the point where we left our last lecture and we talk about the badges style inside the Bootstrap. So we also have the style for the progress bar, and then if we specify the width 40%, then it will fill that progress bar up to 40% of that size. Then we also have, if you want to show that 40% on that filled part, then you can put as a content inside it. We can also have the change the background colors, BG dash, primary or secondary, info, danger, warning, all these colors we can fill. We can use those. What we need to do, we just need to say progress bar, and then we also add this BG color so that it will fill according to that color. Here we are saying that we have a progress bar, then progress bar dash striped, so it will show into a stripe rather than a single color. We can also say we can make it animation. It is sometime it's making some animations when we it is filling it. So that is the thing that we can do using the progress bar animated class that has been defined inside the Bootstrap. Then we also have this one, so multi progress bar, so we can put multiple items inside it. Normally we can use these kind of a things when we want to check inside our for example, the usage of memory RAM inside our system. So we can show how much RAM has been used, how much is free, or we can see the storage, how much is being used by the videos, how much is being used by the audio, or the how much is being used by the images, or how much is being used by our documents and so other documents and so on. So how much is complete filled, how much is empty. So we can use that kind of, we can show those informations in this kind of the progress bar. Right now it doesn't make any sense because progress bar is something when you are making some taking we are doing a long process and then we are showing the progress of that one. But if you want to change that thing inside the at when that progress or that task is running, which a long task which we are running, for example, we are downloading a very big file, then we want to show the progress bar. But definitely in that case we need to write the JavaScript code which look at the progress of that file which is being downloaded, and accordingly it will update our progress bar. So okay, right now it doesn't make sense why we are using it, but when we are have the JavaScript capability which is coming later in this course, so then we will be able to fill this progress bar according to the progress of that download task or the upload task or something. Okay, then we also have a spinner is more like waiting something, the progress, something is happening in the background. We don't want to show the progress bar, but we are telling the user that there is something, we are waiting for some results or waiting for some process to finish, and then we will be able to show you the results of that one. So we can show that kind of a things. We also have this spinner grow, like it will go and just like a pulse. So that is also a spinner dash grow. Then we have the size informations. We can say small, medium, large based on our the size of the screen. Then we also have the spinner button. We can put that spinner inside the button. So that is also a possibility. We also have this kind of a paginations. So class pagination, and then we can you want to go to the first page, second page, or third page, or next page, or previous page. So we can show these kind of a things. And then of course, if you look at this href, this one, where is my cursor? Yeah, this one here. If you look at that, of course, we need to change that reference. So which, for example, page one, so we say page one, page two, page three, and whenever we need to maintain the state that on which page we are. If we are on page two and then we press on the previous, then it will take me to the page two. So then again, this something which has happened, which we can maintain using the JavaScript. We cannot maintain right now here. Especially, yes, we can say one, two, three, fixed pages. But when you say previous, we need to understand where we are right now, which page is opened. Understand? And once we understand that thing using the JavaScript code, then we can say that where we need to go when we press on the previous or the next. Active style, it means that if you look at that here, on this place, only one link is active. So that we know that we are on the page number 2. So whichever page we are, we can make that active, and then the other page should not be active. Again, we are changing the style, we are changing the attributes inside the tags or the elements. That we can only do inside the JavaScript. We cannot do only in the HTML or the CSS, so we can't do that. So for that kind of a things to change at when the user is interacting with our web pages, then we need to write the JavaScript code. That will come, or we will see later on. Similarly, we have a disable. We want to disable specific link, pagination dash large, small. So again, based on the size, screen sizes, what we want to show, how we want to display those things. We also have a list group, unordered list dash group, and then rather than show you that unordered list with the dotted one, it is show you in this form. Okay, so we change that behavior, the default behavior. Similarly, we have this one. Again, we can make one list item active or this, so if this is active, it will be highlighted in that list. And then more on this list is a linked items, disabled item, plus let's remove the borders, so we can apply different styles on it. And if you need more details, click on the link and then you can read the documentation. Then we also have the cards. We can make a card in which we can, like this, we can show display an image, title of the card, some more information about that, and then we can also have some links over there where you want. I mean, we click on that, see the complete profile. Okay. For example, you are making a movie page, and inside the one movies page, you have multiple movies. So you show the title image of that one, you give some the name of the movie, then some description of that one, and then if someone want to read more details about that, then you can click on the link, and then it will open a new page, and inside you can have all the details about that movie, who is the director of that movie, who are the actors and the best actors, and all that kind of information. What is the duration, what is the age limit, and blah 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 things. We can put all those things over there. Okay, so we have the to make the card, we have a dot card class. Okay, and then card body. So card represent this whole, card body, card head, card bottom, what you can say that head and the footer. So we have these. So we can define the card, everything inside the card. We have three different sections. One is the header, one is a body, and the second one is the third one is the footer. So we can divide into that one. So header is more like, show that image, if we would talk about the movie example. And in the contents, we give the title of that movie, these informations about that movie, and in the footer I gives the further link where you can go and read the more details about that. Okay, so again, inside you can, in the contents or the header or the footer, you can put anything that you want. It is not necessary that the way I am explaining you, you can do that. You can open your imagination and you can do whatever you want. It is not necessary that you always do that. But there are some standard practices, some, the best practices which has been followed in the industry. So you look at that accordingly. You can, if you want to change it, of course you can. Inside, look, this is a div here. The header is a div. Card body is a div. Card footer is a div. Inside a div, you can put anything. It is not necessary that you put always one link, you put the title. You can write a complete page. Of course, that card will be very big, but that is not what we wanted to do. But yes, you can put anything. Okay. Then again, we have the contextual classes for the card as well. BG dash primary, text dash white, text dash, so we can apply that BG background colors on the card as well. In the card, we have a card title, card text, card link, card image top, card image bottom. So we can also put the image at the bottom of the card as well. And then we card image overlay. So there are three different, the different classes or the style which has been defined inside the Bootstrap regarding the card. We also have a drop down menu, just like we have a drop down menu in the simple HTML. We also have here. So here we have the drop down class drop down, and then we say BTN primary. So we apply some button classes over there or styling over there. And then here we are giving the class drop down menu, and then we are giving that as a list of the items that will be in that drop down menu. And this drop down menu will not work unless and until we make the link to our script, bootstrap.js. If you don't make that link, then if you click on the drop down menu, it will not work. Remember, I told you that you have two files which the bootstrap provide us. One is a CSS file, the other one is a JavaScript file. And in the JavaScript file, they have defined certain behaviors. When you click on it, we also see alert closable. There's a close button on the alert. And this close button is not going to work if we have not linked the bootstrap.js file inside our HTML page. The same thing is true here as well. The drop down menu will not appear if you have not linked the bootstrap.js with our HTML file. Divider, we can put a divider here. Look, drop down dash divider. So we can just do that. It will put a line between the options of the drop down. It divide two different type of options. We also have the header. We can put a header over there, disabled or active items, position, drop down, menu, drop up. It will go up or go down. Again, we can change that behavior. Text, group guide buttons. So all these are the styles which has been defined inside the Bootstrap, and according to our requirement, we can use them. Then we have a collapsible. Collapsible is something which is, there's sometimes on the pages you say read more, and when you click on the read more, it open up, and then you say read less. When you click it, it will collapse. So that is the collapsible. Show you more information if you wanted to see, otherwise it will show you basic information about that item. And then if you want to read more, then you click on that, it will open up the that one. Other by default, it is hidden. It is not visible. Okay. So we useful when you want to hide and show large amount of the contents. So here we can say that. So we have the collapsible button here, and then when you say collapsible, then demo, and then look at that. Here we are putting this one, and the ID is demo. So where we said data dash bs dash target hash sign demo, it is connecting with this thing. So this button will show this items or hide this item. Okay. So we need to make sure that what you want to display or hide, you assign an ID to it, and inside the collapsible collapse, you put the data dash bs dash target is equal to that dash ID. And then again, look, this is a behavior. You are hiding some element from the page, and then you are unhiding or show them on the page. Show them or hide them. So this is the behavior which comes with the click event, with the interaction of the user with your page. Then again, we need the JavaScript file. If you don't have that one, if you don't link that one, this is not going to work. Clear? Any questions before we can jump to something different? No? Then we have a navigation bar. Sometime on the top, we have the navigation bar where you can move between different sections of the page or web pages, different pages you can go. So we have this nav class, nav item, and this will show this kind of here we say nav item, and then href is a link. Which page you want to open when we click on the link 1 or link 2 or link 3. And then disabled mean that this specific, look at that, I just put disabled as inside the class. So that is a disabled mean I cannot click on that link. The link is there, but it is unclickable, disabled. Okay. We can also have something like this. We can justify contents to the center, so that will come in the center of the screen. If we say that we want to have a full nav bar on the top of the whole page, where that what you can say justify dash content center, then it will bring these links inside the center of the page. We can also put the vertical nav bar, nav flex dash column, so it is more like on the side, left side or right side. We can put a navigation bar over there as well. So this is a style for that one. This is also a navigation bar. We are putting that navigation bar inside the container dash fluid, so it is covering the full screen. And then we can apply, center line or left line or right line. Okay. And then we also have the navigation BG dash primary. We can change the background color, whatever danger or success or the dark or light, whatever we want, we can apply those background color on the navigation bar as well. We like here we can say navigation bar dash expanded dash small. It means that it is going to expand itself, okay, to the maximum size. BG dash light, background is light, justify dash content dash center, so it will come inside the center of the screen. We can also say color navigation bar BG light, and then we can also say that something like this BG. Here we can say that BG dark, so background is dark. And then we have the brand, here the brand. Actually, I just put a logo here. It should show me that text, no, not that this one. So this image that I show you here, it does not match with the code which I show. It should show me the text logo, not the image. But of course, if I replace that logo with an image, then it will show the image. Normally, we have our brand, brand. What you can say that the brand image, which represent your brand, Adidas, or the even the PSU has their own brand. So we can put it over there. So if you replace that logo logo text with an image, then it will show an image here. Then of course we need to make sure that size is small. It's not very big, because we are talking about a navigation bar. Again, navigation bar collapsible. So normally what happened here, if I just try to identify these things again, look at here. So what I did here, I use the image as the brand. So this image is actually being represented here at this place. Then I am saying that we also say the navigation is dark, the background is dark, and then we also have this expand, cover the full screen. And then if you look at that, this part here, here we are saying the button class navigation bar dash logger, and then we say type is equal to button bs dash toggle. So when the size of the screen is become very small, then it will replace that visible nav bar into that toggle button. So when you click on that, it will show you in the drop down. So that is actually coming from this specific part. You can say that toggle button, and then we are making that collapsible and span toggle icon. So what when we are toggling it, I mean, I can't see the when we are to come into that situation, very small screen, then what we want to show, we are showing that toggler button. So this button is actually this button is no, this one is this one representing this. So what we want to display as a button, okay. And then we are putting our navigation items or the links inside this specific thing. And then the other thing that is very important here, the navigation is a collapse. It can collapse, navigation dash bar collapse, and then we are giving the ID. So we are putting that links here in this part, understand. And inside this part, when we are putting the link, we are telling inside this button that what will happen. So if you look at that, the target data dash bs dash target, okay. So we are specifying this thing here, data dash bs dash target collapsible. So this name and the ID here, you know this name, that is the collapsible. Where is my, not this one's here. So this name should be exactly the same as this one, okay. Any questions so far? Because it will check that button what I need to open as a drop down menu when it is in the collapsible form. So the ID over there and the per dollar ID, that should be target should be equal. And if we don't have the same name, then it is not going to work. For example, we are saying that this is an image. then this is our collapsible item, and then with this the name should be equal. So again, we have a nav bar text, nav bar drop down menu, forms and the buttons, fixed navigation bar, sticky navigation bar. We can put all these styles inside the navigation. Any questions so far? No? All good? Then we also have carousel. Carousel is more like a slideshow, whether it's an image or nowadays we can also slide show the videos as well. One video play and then it will go to the left side and the next video comes in, or we have images which is show you some time, then move to the next image and so on. So that is the carousel, so or slideshow. So we can build that carousel here. And again, if you look at this one, we are saying that we want to have a carousel here. It is a div, and then it say that the id is equal to demo2, and then we say carousel slide, and then we have data bs right. That is the also carousel here as well. And then inside we are putting these buttons. If I just try to, the buttons here down there, three buttons, if you look at that, on the down side there are three different buttons. So these are the buttons here right on the top. Carousel indicator. Inside we are putting three buttons, and then we say slide to 0, it means index 0, the first image. Slide to 1, second image. Slide to 2, third image. So we are starting like an index value, we are putting the informations and then images, and then we say 0 index, first index and second index, or the first image, second image, or the third image. So these buttons will directly bring us to those specific image which has been linked to that one. And then inside we have a carousel inner, and then we say carousel item active. So we are putting an item here. If I just try to make the lines here so that you can see, because of them, like here, starting from here, this is the first item, and I am saying it is active. It means this is the item which is by default will display when the page is loaded. And then here inside this one I am putting the image, and then uh, we are giving the div. Then we have a carousel caption. We are also putting the caption. If you just go down there, you can see that you have a caption title, a bigger one, h1 tag, and then you also some explanation about that one. So these are being written down here. The carousel caption, and then we have the h3 and the paragraph part over there, and then it is closing this div, this caption one, then it is closing the div here, this one div. So this is the first image that I have displayed over there. And the same image, if you look at the other one, they are exactly the same. Again, carousel item, we have image, then we have the caption, then we display the h3 and the paragraph, and then we are closing the div. Second, so this is our first image. Then after that, div class carousel item, the second image. Then we have a third image, and then we have this last one. The last two buttons, they are actually the buttons of this one. If I just go to the down there, so you can see that previous and the next buttons. So these are the buttons which has been written at the last part, which is here. These two buttons here. Okay. Any questions? And then it will create this carousel for me. Of course, when we look at how we can create these carousels, then I will explain you when I'm showing you how we can implement those things inside the HTML. And then it will be much more clear. Right now, I can just explain that in the slides. Model, again, it's more like a dialog or pop-up window that appear, and then you can display something on it. Again, here is the examples. Here we are saying that div class model, then we have a div class dialog, the content, what we want to show inside it, and then after that we have some buttons that close it down and so on. Okay. Okay, we can also apply the model dash fade. When I fade mean when I close it, it will slowly disappear rather than just disappear once. Okay, then we also have these model classes based on the size of the screen, full screen, XL, large, and so on. And then we also have the responsive. full screen model. There also this one here. We also have the central model. It will come in the center of the screen. We also have the scrolling model. And mean, if we have a large content, then we can scroll up and down. We also have a tooltip. Tooltip, I mean, when you bring your cursor on it, it will show you a tooltip, some informations about that element. Tooltip position, you want to put that tooltip on the top, on the left, right, or bottom. So where you want to show that tooltip. Okay. So again, that is also coming from the JavaScript. A change and behavior. Data dash BS placement down, up, and down. So if you look at down here, so we are saying that placement top, placement bottom, placement left, placement right. So accordingly, it will show you that tooltip on the what you can say that where you want to display it. And tooltip is actually a title information that we want to display. More Bootstrap features, pop over, pop-up box on click. When you click something, it will pop up. We also have the toast. Toast is something which is like shows some informations. For example, you are downloading a file. Once the downloading is finished, then we can show a small message which come out of the screen and then show you your download has finished and then disappear. So that is the toast. We also have this scroll spy automatically update links in a navigation list based on scroll position, where that particular position is accordingly will update the list. We also have the off canvas hidden model. I mean, if we are putting something at the negative 200, the element is there. The element is there. But we are putting that position is minus 200. The size is only 100 only. So what will happen? It is out of the screen, which is not visible. Off canvas. Utilities, dark mode, flex. So we have all these kind of things. Any questions so far before we can jump to the CSS animation? How we can animate, how we can move things around on the page using only the HTML and the CSS. Of course, with JavaScript, we can do a lot of other things, but only with the HTML and CSS, we can do some things. We can make them rotate, we can make them big and small, we can change the background colors, we can change the text colors, and so on. So what we can do for that one. So that is more like an animation. And then we can say it happened one time, two time, three time, or it will continue forever. How much time it will take to do that animation, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 seconds, so we can apply these. So allow animation of html elements, paragraph tag, div tag, image, whatever, any element, you can apply some animation on it using the Java, without using the JavaScript, of course. Let's an element gradually change from one style to another. So we are changing the style from one to the other, and specify some keyframes for the animation. Hold what styles the element will have to certain times. So how to use it? First one, we need to create a at the rate of keyframe, and inside the add the rate of keyframes, we need to give a name, that highlighted example. So this is a name. You can select whatever. My first animation, animation demo, example one, example animation, whatever you want to select. So that's a name. And then after that, we are saying from the background color to red. From background color, red, to yellow. So what will happen? It will change the color from red to yellow. But when I say 5 seconds, so it will happen in 5 seconds. So in between, it is changing the color slowly from red to yellow. So that's look like an animation. Okay. The next thing is we need to define a style inside our CSS file. And of course, this we are writing inside the CSS file, external CSS file. Okay, or we can also write in internal as well in the style tag. Okay, so in the external CSS file, we are writing the add the rate of keyframes, give that animation that we are defining a name, and then we define what we want to do in that animation. Here I say just from the red color change it to yellow, and then here we are defining something. We are say div, it is 100 pixel width and height, so it will be more like a square which will appear on the screen. And then we say background color is equal to red, the starting color. Maybe you can say something different. Okay, doesn't matter. animation name, exactly the same. And then we are saying animation duration 4 seconds. That will happen 4 seconds. Okay. So what will happen when it will appear? That box, it has a red color. In 4 seconds, it will turn back into the yellow color. And then once this animation is finished, it will turn back into the red as well. Because once the animation is finished, it will go back to this original position, original style. Understand? Now we can also define something like this. At the 0%, at the start of the animation, red. At 25% during that animation, make it yellow. 50% make it blue. 100% make it green. So what happened if I put that one like the same thing here, 4 seconds. So in the start, it is red. From 0 to 1 second, it will turn into yellow. From 1 second to 2 second, it will turn from yellow to blue. And then from 2 second, blue to green. And then eventually it will come back into the red as well, because this is a base style. Understand? So we are specifying 0%. We can also say 0%, 10%, 20%, 30%. Again, that's up to you. I divided into 4 different sections. We can also move the things. At 0%, for example, that specific div, square, which appear with the red background color. So I say left is equal to 0, top is equal to 0. When I say left is equal to 0, it is a top left corner I'm talking about. Okay, top left corner. So I say top is equal to 0, left is equal to 0. It's in original position wherever it is coming in the page. But in the 25%, I say make the left to 200. So it will move towards the right side 200 pixels. Understand? 200 pixels towards the right, because now I'm saying left should be equal to 200 pixels. So rather than on the original position where it is 0, 0, then it will move towards right in from 0 to 25% or in first 1 second. Then I'm saying that in the 50%, I'm saying that make it from top left is equal to 200, wherever it is. Now top is equal to 200 pixels. So it will go down. So it is going like this. That box is here, First, it will move into this direction, 200 pixels, 25%. Then it will move into this direction, again 200 pixels go down. And then in the 70%, what I'm saying, left is equal to 0 and top is equal to 200 pixels. So what will happen here? It will move into this direction. And then finally, it will again move back to this direction. And it will come to the original position. And during that time, they are also changing the background color as well. So they are also moving as well changing the background color. Making sense? Is it clear or not clear? Yeah. The original position. Sorry? So it's the original. Yeah, once this animation is finished, okay, it will come back to the original position. Right now, I am actually moving it to the original position myself in this animation. But even if you leave that animation somewhere here, you rather than move up, you again down move 200 pixel here. So once the animation finishes, automatically it will come back here or the original position. Doesn't matter where it is finishing. Finishing wherever it is, it will come back to the original position once the animation is finished. Also the original color? Yes, color as well. Yeah. The same. Whatever we are defined inside the style of that div, background color red, position, whatever it is, it will remain same over there. The other thing that, because if you are just changing the background color, then it is not moving. It is remain at a fixed position. Okay. Then it is okay. But if you want to move it, then you need to make sure that you are putting the one thing here, that is the position relative here, this one, because by default this position is fixed, not moving. But when you want to move it, then you need to make sure that you are putting that position is equal to relative inside the style. If you don't do that, then it will not move around. Yes, it will change the background colors, but it will not move from its original position. Is it clear? So you need to make sure that you are putting that one if you want to move it around. And then we also have the delay. Delay mean if I just go back here, like here. So now we are putting, say that width is equal to 100 at position relative, which is required. If you want to move around, then background color is red. And then animation image example, duration 4 seconds, animation delay. So what will happen? When the page load, it will wait for 2 seconds, then it will start the animation. That is the animation delay. Then we also have the animation iteration count. Iteration count. Iteration count mean it will repeat the same animation 3 times. And if I put instead of three, I put the infinite infinit, then it will repeat that animation forever. As long as that page is visible, it will do that animation all the time. Then we also have the animation reverse. So what we are doing here, first do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. But when I say reverse, it will start from this position, then it will go here, here, here. So rather than it will go to the right side, come down left, and then go back to the original position, it will start with the original position, then it will go down, go to the right, go up, and then go left to back original position. Clear? So reverse mean that it will reverse, it will apply that animation in a reverse order. We also have this one normal, that is a forward, these are default behavior, iteration value. The animation direction is always normal. If you want to make it reverse, we can do that. If you say alternate, I mean, if you are repeating the animation multiple times, first time it is forward, and second time it is backward, again forward, backward, forward, backward. So it alternate between these two directions. When you say alternate, when you say alternate dash reserve reverse, it will start with the reverse and then forward, reverse, forward, reverse, forward. Making sense? All these values. Then we also have the other CSS animation, like animation timing function. By default, they have a very, very simple linear function which is applied. How it happen? You can also say in the beginning it will slow, in the middle it will make fast, so then you need to change that animation timing function. And we have different functions, you know, sine waves or cosine waves and all these kind of things. But yes, we can change that behavior as well. How it will do linearly, which is a default behavior, or you want to change that in the beginning it is slow, in the middle it is fast, in the end, so or you in the middle in the beginning it is slow, in the end it is fast. So you can make these different type of the patterns inside the animations as well. So that is a timing, how it will happen. Then we have animation dash fill mode. We also have this one. So we are say alternate directions, linear. So we are putting that in. Linear mean that we also like have the shorthand. Shorthand mean that rather than I write all these values, you can say example 5 second linear, 2 seconds infinite in the alternate. But I prefer this one. I know exactly what I am doing. But there you need to remember what which information is what. Okay. We also have this and kind of an animation. We call it a transform. And if you look at that, we have a background color is equal to yellow, size and height and width, and then transform, rotate 20 degree. So what will happen on the top left corner? That is the point which is fixed, and then it is rotating. You know, the top left corner is fixed, and then it is rotating. Yeah, yes, or rotate. It is rotate about the center or rotate about the top left corner. We need to check anyway. I think that is rotate is top left corner because we can also circle, move it around in the circle. Okay, then it is from the center of the element. When you say rotate, it is always top left corner. Around that, it is going to. Then we also have a skew, 20 degree. It is making it skew, and then we also have the style. I mean scale Y. Scale Y mean it width has been become 150%. Scale X, height will change accordingly. But if I say zero point 0.5, what will happen? That will become half of the size of the screen, of that original size. Okay, so we have this one is related to this one is related to that one. Transform origin. So here we are saying that we have a position relative, again because it is changing the position, it is removing from its original position. That's why we need to make sure that we position is relative. And then we are putting the what we are putting here. So we are applying the rotation. Rotate. Rotate is more like around that center point, because if we look at that, this is a rectangle, so rectangle has a center point, it is rotating around that center point. Then we can also have this one, transform and rotate, and transform origin. So now we are rotate 45-degree, but we are saying that transform the image rather than the center with a 50-50. We are moving that center of the rotation to a I mean, we are saying that it should be somewhere here. I mean, if I just try to identify that thing, it is, my color is also red. So let me put the pen part and change the color to the green. So it will be like, if we by default it is right in the center, somewhere here, right in the center. But when I say for 40%, and for the first one it is actually the x-axis, so we are putting that rather than 50%, it is somewhere here 10%. And then we say 40%, it means that we are moving it to here, so it is somewhere here, something like this in the vertical and the horizontal direction. So the our rotations, the origin where it is rotating it, it is changing it. Okay, any questions? No, I mean, I have written down this one. So I say rotate 360-degree. When I say rotate 360-degree, actually it will circle. So look at that. It is changing the background color. It is also changing the rotating itself at the same position. So it is just a simple, what you can say, that the animation that we can do using the CSS and the what you can say that CSS and the HTML. We don't need the JavaScript, but of course with the JavaScript we will have more functionality. We can do more things. Any questions so far? No. Okay, so that's all. We will continue our lecture where we will talk about the form styles in the Bootstrap in the next lecture.